The iPhone 7 Plus, it's finally here, and I'm going head to head with the new Samsung Galaxy Note 7 and the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. So just as promised, let's battle these mammoths and see which one is the winner and in which way. There are so many things to compare here. So just like always, this will be an ultimate comparison. I'm comparing everything you guys need to know when choosing between one or the other one of these devices. In this case, there being three. So the design of the iPhone 7 Plus hasn't really changed much. On first appearance, it's almost identical to the iPhone 6s Plus and the 6 Plus before it. And the one major thing is the camera bump and antenna bands have been removed. The Galaxy Note 7 and S7 Edge both share a very sleek design, very similar in looks, one being slightly more chunky than the other. They're all great looking devices, but how do they feel in your hand? The iPhone 7 Plus is the biggest of them all. That makes it uncomfortable to hold. Not only that, but the actual material is very slippery, and the fact that it has such wide bezels makes it really difficult to use that large display. So the Galaxy Note 7 has the biggest display of them all, yet it's one of the smallest devices here. It's very easy to grip, and at times I actually kind of wish the bezels were a little bit thicker on the Note 7, just because I find myself triggering things on the display, the overlap when holding it. But the Galaxy S7 Edge is the smallest of all three phones. It is extremely comfortable to hold on to. So while both phones are holding on to the designs from the previous generation, the Galaxy Note 7 and S7 Edge are both the more sleeker looking devices. They both look brand new. In terms of actual sizing, the iPhone 7 Plus is the heaviest device, despite having the smallest display, and the Note 7 is the second chunkiest, with the S7 Edge being the slimmest and thinnest design. And a quick look at the bottom of the phones reveals that they're all using different ports. The iPhone with Lightning, Note 7 with USB-C, and micro USB on the S7 Edge. So moving on to build, all three phones here do share a water resistance capability. However, the iPhone 7 Plus has the weakest rating of the bunch, IP67 versus IP68 on the Galaxies. So that means you can only take it up to a meter underwater for 30 minutes versus a meter and a half on the Galaxies. It's still quite capable, just not as much as the Galaxies. Drop test results were actually pretty good on both. They all handled up to head height with flying colors. It was only when we went to 10 feet that both phones did break. The Note 7 does have Gorilla Glass 5. It's arguably the best of the bunch. So there it is in terms of build and design, all beautiful phones in their very own ways. So let's move on to the most important thing, and that is displays. To me, this is the number one thing I interact with on my phone. It's very important to have a great, bright, clean display. The iPhone 7 Plus does have a brighter display, not quite as bright as the Note 7 or the S7 Edge, and it now features a P3 color gamut, which the Note 7 already had. Now, DisplayMate gave the iPhone 7 Plus high praise, saying it was the most color accurate display that they have ever measured. That is incredible. The iPhone 7 Plus did come a long way in terms of tech. It just reached a barrier because LCD can't go much higher. OLED is the future, and Apple's going to be shifting to OLED tech next year, and I went ahead and compared all of these displays in low light. The darker colors definitely appear more dark as there is an infinite contrast ratio on OLED panels. It looks great on all of them, the colors especially. It's just when you get into the more darker stuff that on the Galaxy's OLED panels, you can definitely see less light bleeding through. It's very interesting how every single phone here has a unique perk when it comes to display technology. The iPhone 7 Plus has 3D Touch, which actually comes in very handy. It's a pressure-sensitive display, and the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 has its unique S Pen. So it's a stylus that can revolutionize how you use your device. It's more for professional use. It also does have the curved edge, which the S7 Edge also has, except it's a little bit more apparent on the S7 Edge. So it's, not as useful as the other ones, but it's certainly there. Every single phone does have an edge to it, except the iPhone 7 Plus is more for aesthetics, whereas they're actually useful on the Note 7 and S7 Edge. And finally, we arrive at power. This is the one I was most excited to make ever since they announced the iPhone, because I knew it would be an incredibly powerful device. Apple is always optimizing what they have so well. This time around, it brings the big guns, a 2.23 gigahertz processor, quad core, two of them on both devices being the powerful ones, two on the less powerful scale. So Geekbench results are actually quite crazy. The iPhone 7 Plus outdoes the S7 Edge and Note 7 as they share the same processor by a wide margin. Next up, I went ahead and ran Antutu benchmarks. I wanted to see what the scores would be, and at the same time, I went ahead and measured how hot the device would get on its hottest point. So after completing these benchmarks, the scores were apparently much higher on the iPhone 7 Plus, and when it comes to heating up, the iPhone 7 Plus did heat up the most. And next up, I did some synchronized launching of applications. Starting with Snapchat, the iPhone 7 Plus was almost instant. And yes, the multitasking cache was cleared on all devices, so that's quite a difference there. That's something you're going to use multiple times a day. Next up, I went ahead and launched Pokemon Go. I know this does take a while, and surprisingly on the iPhone 7 Plus, it was near instant. On the other devices, it took almost twice as long. That's crazy. Looking at wireless, there's really not too much to say here. The iPhone 7 Plus is the most capable as a traveling phone. The other devices have a higher theoretical download speed. And taking a look at the batteries, the iPhone 7 Plus has the smallest battery of the bunch, 2900 milliamps versus a larger 3500 and 3600 milliamp battery. The Galaxies have the advantage of fast charging and wireless charging, which is in a league above the 7 Plus. Next up, sound output. This is very important because the iPhone 7 Plus just got stereo speakers, and man does it use them well. You got a much higher reading there in terms of decibels. And just how fast can you unlock your phone? The Note 7 unlocked first, with the S7 Edge second, iPhone 7 Plus in third, and Iris Scanner last. So we arrive at the big one, cameras. The iPhone 7 Plus has a complete overhaul in that department. It now has a dual lens camera with 4 LED flash, and I'm just amazed at how good it is. I've been using it for a while now. So I'm gonna let you guys sit back and enjoy the footage I shot comparing these devices. Note 7 versus 7 Plus. So this is a movement test. I just want to show you guys the actual movement between these phones. So they're both pretty steady. I mean, both have optical video stabilization, which is pretty standard nowadays. It's kind of a grayish, overcast day, but I mean, it looks pretty good. So from the on-screen, I can already see that the Galaxy seems to represent colors a little bit more fake, but it's more pleasing to the eyes, certainly. So there's that. I'm going to try and get some faster movement in here. So you tell me which shake is better. There's that. Here's my cat. It's very unusual to actually see him like this. There's a mouse trap. He's not doing his job very well. Look at that shot. That's beautiful. Oh my goodness. I have such a good looking cat. Alright, so just random quality. Just want to show you guys these flowers. Looks beautiful on both, really. Here's some pink flowers. And I gotta say, focus is very, very good. So on both of them, focus is near instantaneous. On the Galaxy, it's a little bit faster, that's for sure. So the iPhone was blurry for a couple seconds, and then it focuses. But the Galaxy focus is instantaneous. I love that. Let's take a look at these. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Here's some pink and red in the same shot, and some blue. The low light environment test. It's very, very dark in here, and I don't know, it looks pretty good on both actually. The Galaxy seems a little bit noisier, but you can make out more details in the colors. So both are very good. These are both the best low light cameras you could possibly get right now on a phone. So great stuff. And here are some pictures, and I'm using the portrait mode on the 7 Plus on the left in this shot, and this is it without it. So quite a difference, huh? Overall, very, very good quality, very comparable. The iPhone 7 Plus seems to do very well in terms of colors, much better versus the 6S Plus. And I'm so happy Apple is actually focusing on great quality with the front-facing camera. It's now 7 megapixels, and yes, the quality is better comparing it to the Galaxies. So I'm just going to show you from the front some colors, just so you guys get an idea of how this looks, and I want to test the audio as well. So audio is very important, and filming with either one of these guys, you're gonna get different audio, of course. Seems to be pretty good on both. That's my pond. Let's check out some low light over here with some chickens. Chickens. What's up, guys? Everything Apple Pro here, guys. Check it out. That's the iPhone 7 Plus. You won't believe how good the quality is.
that's it.
So the last thing I wanted to touch on is special technology. This is something that stands out to me, is that the iPhone 7 Plus now has 4 LED flash, well, both the 7 and 7 Plus. It now has a capacitive home button, which has no physical touch to it whatsoever. It has stereo speakers, which is a really big one for me personally, and the dual lens camera with optical zoom. I haven't covered it really in shots, but you can zoom in using the actual zoom. The portrait mode is a really big deal as well. It'll blur your background in real time, and no other phone on the market does this right now. You can get some crazy good shots with it. I'm just impressed. It's my favorite feature of the 7 Plus. And there's also instant setup with select Apple accessories. So you'll use NFC to go ahead and connect with that W1 chip instantly. No software setup. The Galaxy does have iris scanning, which is honestly pretty cool. It does have the new stylus, which has been reimagined. It's much better, much more useful. And hey, look at this. It does have a 3.5mm headphone jack, so no need to fiddle around with adapters or anything like that. Also, my favorite thing about this guy is that it does have wireless charging and quick charge. So even if the battery life isn't that great, you can charge it up almost instantly. So of course, each phone does have its own merits. Look through this list that I wrote for each phone and find those points that are most important to you. We all have different ones. For me, personally, the flash, the camera is number one about the 7 Plus, and also the virtual home button is really, really cool. The Galaxy comes with a lot more innovation, that's for sure. It has a deeper water resistance rating, a sharper, brighter display versus the iPhone 7 Plus, and of course many other reasons to choose this one. Overall though, I'm quite surprised. These phones are amazing. I mean, they are top of the line. Choosing between one or the other is going to be a very difficult task. So the last point I wanted to touch on is pricing. This is off-contract pricing, and for the most part, they're pretty evenly matched. The Note 7 is a little bit expensive. You're getting a lot for that money, don't get me wrong. It's just $100 more than the base entry model iPhone 7 Plus. For the same price, the 7 Plus will offer 128 gigabytes out of the box. So guys, there it is. That took so long. So I just wanted to say thanks so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Hopefully I made this choice a little bit easier for you. It's not easy. Whichever choice you make, it won't be the wrong one. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your devices and all the cool things you can do with them. Peace.